NASA shut down telescopes. The official reason? Solar conjunction interference. Yet the moment this silence fell was no ordinary period. It was exactly when 7 different comets all became visible in our cosmic neighborhood at once. 7 icy wanderers streaking through the solar system in the same narrow time window. To appreciate how extraordinary that sounds, let's step back. In an average year, maybe 2 or 3 comets reach naked-eye brightness. Very often, even these are faint, barely on the edge of visibility, requiring binoculars. For astronomers, the appearance of just one bright comet can make headlines. Families drive outside City Glow, point to the sky, and say proudly, "Look, there it is. A comet." Now imagine not one comet, not 2, not 3, but 7 shining simultaneously across a 6-month stretch. It was as if the universe staged a celestial flash mob and invited every icy drifter to dance in our skies. But, as dazzling as this spectacle should have been, we never saw the full show. Just as the 7 visitors took center stage, the cameras went dark. NASA cited solar conjunction, explaining that the sun's proximity in the field of view interfered with telescope alignment. In principle, this is a real challenge. But here's the strange coincidence. That conjunction window, that exact period of natural interference, overlapped precisely with the comet's brightest moments. That coincidence raised eyebrows around the world. What are the odds? It felt like going to the theater, waiting for the final act, and discovering that the curtain has been pulled closed, the house lights off, the microphones muted. The astronomical community, especially amateurs, noticed more than frustration. They smelled intentional concealment. Independent astronomer Bill Gray, known for his software that tracks asteroid orbits, gathered data from amateur networks worldwide. In encrypted chat rooms and private servers, observers traded images and calculations. Their conclusion, the official silence, didn't add up. Gray's message resonated like a manifesto. The official streams may be quiet, but the sky is still speaking. Aim your telescopes. Record what you see. Truth doesn't care about conjunction excuses. That fueled suspicion. Why suppress real-time information about something so beautiful? Why mute the voices of the stars? The hook was set, and the questions grew sharper. Why do we suddenly have 7 comets at once? Why is one of them, 3I Atlas, not even from our solar system? Why did the precise observation window vanish behind institutional blackout? And most importantly, what are they hiding from us? The problem. The 7-comet anomaly. At the heart of this mystery lies something deceptively simple. Numbers. 2 or 3 bright comets per year is normal. 7 is not. Statistically, the probability of 7 coinciding in brightness and timing sits below 0.5%, less than 1 in 200. Put bluntly, the odds say this shouldn't be happening. Astronomers routinely calculate orbital paths. They know the Kuiper belt, Oort cloud distributions. Still, nothing in current models suggested a flood like this. So, let's detail the lineup. C 2025 R2 SWAN, the ancient wanderer with a 22,354-year orbit. When it last visited, much of humanity still lived in caves, carving symbols into stone. Now it reappears at the very moment of our technological age. E. Atlas, the true intruder. One of only 3 interstellar objects ever observed. It's not bound to our sun. It simply passes through, carrying alien chemistry from elsewhere in the galaxy. C 2025 V1, smaller in scale, but with a strangely elongated, whip-like tail recorded by amateurs. Unusual tail morphology often implies disturbances or solar wind resonance, unlike typical comets. C 2026 A2, predicted to pass closest to Earth, glowing brilliantly in April 2026. Its approach creates the most speculation. Any Earth-crossing dust stream could intensify meteor showers dramatically. See Doc 2026. Dithuri, bursting with dust so dense that some fear intersection with Earth's orbital path could mean severe meteor activity. 2026 J7. Faster, less predictable, displaying oscillations in brightness still unexplained. CO₂-26. P9. Odd chemical emissions revealed by early spectroscopy. High carbon monoxide ratios defying easy categorization. This is not just statistical noise. Some astrophysicists suspect these comets are fragments of a larger disruption event, perhaps a cluster shaken loose by galactic tides or distant stellar encounters. Others whisper of a cosmic resonance, where gravitational patterns accelerate multiple orbits into alignment. The public, meanwhile, gravitates to symbolism. 7 is not a neutral number. 7 days. 7 classical planets. 7 heavens. Across cultures, 7 signifies completion. Now, 7 comets. Coincidence or omen? Humans are not immune to myth even in our most rational age. Social networks buzzed. Is this a celestial alignment of destiny? Religious sects claimed prophecy. Conspiracy channels screamed apocalypse. Mainstream scientists pushed back gently, but the sheer anomaly gave fertile ground to wild narratives. What is undeniable is this. Astronomically, we are witnessing something never catalogued in modern records, a cosmic chorus assembled for reasons not yet understood. So the problem is simple but immense. What does this cluster mean? And a bigger issue. Why, at the very moment we need unfiltered data most, were official channels suspiciously muted? Evidence, the blackout, and suppressed data. The anomaly wasn't simply the sudden appearance of 7 comets. What truly ignited suspicion was the blackout. Between October 8th and 18th of 2025, the most critical window of comet visibility, multiple observatories cut their feeds. NASA's statement was predictable. Due to solar conjunction, contamination affects our ability to gather useful signals. Data will resume once objects re-emerge from the sun's glare. That's plausible. Every year, spacecraft and telescopes experience limited observation cycles when Earth, Sun, and target align inconveniently. But here's the striking problem. These conjunction effects typically don't affect every possible telescope simultaneously. Yet, Hubble produced blanks. James Webb stayed silent. Mars orbiters contradicted each other. The period overlapped exactly with the heightened activity of the comet cluster. Amateurs noticed. Too clean, one forum wrote. Too neat, too convenient. NASA and ESA, silence. Normally, both agencies jump at cosmic spectacles. Remember when James Webb released stunning exoplanet spectra, or Hubble captured dazzling star nurseries? Those images went viral globally, boosting interest and, crucially, funding. But this? Nothing. No celebrating the greatest comet cluster of modern times. Instead, rumors spread that Webb's instrument schedule aligned on them, yet data never released. Why hold back if this was supposed to excite the public? James Webb and Hubble's Mysterious Gaps astrophotographers tracked Webb's orientation with orbital software. Its gaze pointed at the comets. Yet daily photojournals showed unrelated targets. Hubble's archives later uploaded blurred exposures, as if saturated frames were discarded. Why would billion-dollar telescopes, built to capture the cosmos for humanity, go shy exactly now? Mars orbiters, contradicting each other. Mars reconnaissance. Orbiter logged one thing. 3I Atlas, apparently losing its tail structure. Meanwhile, Mars Odyssey reported a fully intact radiant trail in the same time frame. Contradictory, inconsistent, unreconciled. These weren't minor discrepancies. They suggested either observational errors or filtered manipulation. The amateurs and Bill Gray-as institutions grew quieter. Amateurs grew louder. And Bill Gray's network became the beating heart of independent truth. Collaborating via Discord and private platforms, volunteers from Japan, Canada, Europe, Turkey, and beyond cross-validated each other's results. Their consistent observations. Rippled waves along SWAN's tail, sudden accelerations in 3I Atlas's orbit, like heartbeats, Dust releases from C2026-D3 beyond ordinary solar heating. These didn't match the sanitized narratives. Academic voices dismiss them as noise, yet noise recorded across continents is no noise at all. Chemical evidence. The 3I Atlas signature, now for the bombshell. Normal comets within our solar system's birth disk are H2O-dominated. Water, ice, dust, trace CO and CO2. Spectral analysis of 3E Atlas, however, screamed CO2 dominance. Carbon dioxide venting at extreme levels, with water shockingly scarce. This signature strongly suggested it was born in different conditions, from another star's nursery. That alone should have made headlines. Alien ice detected in solar system. Instead, official sheets muttered, contains water ice while avoiding chemical ratios. Downplay by omission. The SWAN's 22,554-year cycle, and then SWAN. This comet, calculated to revisit Earth every 22,554 years, became more than just ice and gas. Archaeoastronomers linked its timing to Göbeklitepe's mysterious carvings in Turkey. Bird symbols, crescent shapes. Could those Stone Age artisans have recorded SWAN's previous pass? Now, with Göbeklitepe uncovered in modern times, SWAN returns, synchronized with Atlas, intertwining ancient human memory with alien cosmic chemistry. The blackout not only denied access, it denied us recognition of one of humanity's greatest junctions, the union of myth, archaeology, and astrophysics in the sky. Thus, the evidence as a whole whispered the same theme. These events are too extraordinary, and someone is choosing caution over revelation. The question is, why? Deep dive. 3I Atlas and SWAN 3I Atlas. Stranger from afar labeled 3I for interstellar. Atlas joined the tiny roster of observed alien objects after Oumuamua 2017 and Borisov 2019. But Atlas differed. Where Borisov behaved like an ordinary comet and Oumuamua acted strangely but left quickly, Atlas lingered. Unfiltered amateur plots revealed subtle acceleration. Traditional cometary jets, outgassing thrusts, could cause random pushes. But Atlas's changes looked patterned, rhythmic, almost biological. Astronomers compared them to a heartbeat. The phrase spread on Reddit threads, "The comet with a pulse." Chemical analysis confirmed the strangeness. Its tail overflowed with CO2. Why does that matter? Because in our birth disk, water froze abundantly. To build CO2-dominant bodies, you need colder, farther zones, perhaps another sun or conditions absent here. Atlas wasn't homegrown. It was proof. We are not alone in our cosmic snowball factory. Icy travelers come bearing foreign chemistry, alien fingerprints, fossils of another planetary nursery. The James Webb Space Telescope caught infrared readings showing Atlas's core glowing 3 times brighter than models predicted. A concentrated heat signature, steady and unwavering. No flicker, no tail scatter, just a fixed, pulsing beacon. That's when the whispers started. What if it's not just ice? Spectroscopic teams at Johns Hopkins passed raw spectra through every known catalog. Water, minimal. Carbon dioxide, off the charts. But buried in the data sat absorption lines that refused to match anything natural. Hints of metallic alloys, rare earth elements, materials that on Earth only appear in advanced manufacturing. The scientific community split. Some argued for exotic ices formed under alien star conditions. Others quietly suggested the unthinkable, engineered composition. SWAN, memory of ages. SWAN's orbit runs on prehistoric timescales. 22,554 years ago, it last illuminated the night, when glaciers smothered Europe and Anatolian hunter-gatherers erected stone sanctuaries. Göbeklitepe's carvings puzzle archaeologists. Among the creatures etched into stone are cranes, vultures, abstract crescents. Some scholars argue they encode astronomical alignments. If so, SWAN may have been the luminous visitor inspiring prehistoric ritual. Now SWAN brews again. In the very era we recover Göbeklitepe's meaning. Its wavy, rippling tail amplifies mystique. Was it coincidence? Or a celestial reminder, bridging ancient eyes with modern telescopes? The comet's tail stretches 2.5 degrees across the sky, 5 times the width of a full moon. That kind of scale is unheard of for a newly discovered comet. Initial photometry put it at magnitude 7.4, bright enough for small backyard telescopes and even some binoculars. But SWAN's true mystery lies in its timing. It arrives now, at the same moment as Atlas, during a blackout window when Earth's telescopes are blinded by the sun. The geometry is striking. Both objects on steeply inclined orbits, approaching from opposite corners of the sky, yet reaching perihelion within days of each other. The odds of this cosmic double entry are, according to experts, astronomical. The pair together, Atlas the alien, SWAN the elder, both filling skies together. Their synchronic presence transforms coincidence into poetry. Ancient and alien, roots and futures, past and beyond. Add 5 supporting comets, and you have a full cosmic orchestra. But the duet of Atlas and SWAN becomes the motif driving the symphony. Some researchers point to the ice cores of Greenland and Antarctica, where layers of dust and tiny chemical changes hint at sudden dramatic events in the sky around 20,000 BCE. Could those layers line up with periods when bright, long-period comets swept through, leaving not just debris but stories that echoed down generations? At Göbeklitepe, stone pillars carved 11,000 years ago show animals and abstract symbols. A handful of theorists argue that these carvings record cycles far longer than a human lifetime, maybe even marking the return of something like SWAN. The mainstream view is cautious. Archaeologists and astronomers warn that these connections are speculative at best, built on patterns that could just as easily be chance. But the timing is hard to ignore. If SWAN really does return every 22,554 years, its last swing through the inner solar system would have happened just as the world was, emerging from the grip of the glaciers at a moment when human culture was taking its first steps toward building monuments and tracking the heavens. Amateur. Reverence amateurs reacted with reverence. Blogs filled with awe. Looking at Atlas, I feel like I'm staring at another star system's relic. When SWAN rose above the horizon, I thought of Göbeklitepe's builders seeing the same beacon. Science can detail chemical ratios, orbital elements, gravitational nudge theories, but awe transcends equations, and awe, perhaps, is what institutions most fear. If people connect cosmic wonders with meaning, control of narrative shifts from sterile authority to messy, passionate imagination, Atlas and SWAN remind us, truth is not always tidy. Sometimes it's magnificent, inconvenient, even destabilizing. Conspiracy. Layer. Why hide it? Let's return to the uncomfortable question. Why the silence? When the blackout orders hit, the official channels went silent, but the amateur networks did not. Bill Gray, a veteran tracker known for his open-source orbit calculations, started rallying a distributed web of backyard astronomers and small observatories. His call went out across public forums and encrypted chat rooms. Keep your scopes on the sky, log every flicker, and share the raw data before it disappears. The Ibero Tracker Collective in Spain and Portugal began pooling wide-field sensor feeds. Leaks from private astronomy groups suggested makeshift plans to bypass the blackout using radio, telescopes, and even repurposed weather satellites, with government agencies off the record and big observatories locked down. The grassroots effort became the only line of defense against a total information vacuum. Possible reasons for suppression. Panic management. Announce 7 comets. One alien, one prehistoric, all at once. Sensationalist media would scream doomsday. Markets would wobble. Governments prefer stability to awe. In 1910, Halley's comet sparked panic about poisonous cyanogen gas. Elites softened data to calm the crowd. In 1986, Soviet observations of Halley's perturbations were sequestered. Authorities have always managed comet news to protect order. Authority, protection. What if amateurs truly break the discovery story? NASA becomes redundant, budgets threatened. Suppression keeps control of the narrative. The rise of distributed astronomy networks threatens institutional monopoly on cosmic truth. If Bill Gray's network can track objects NASA claims are unobservable, what does that say about billion-dollar budgets? 3. Dual-use secrets. Many telescopes are dual civilian-military. Feeding anomalies into public channels risks, revealing classified capabilities and experiments. Perhaps even new defense tests interfering with Comet, Tails, NASA Space Command, and European Space Agency internal memos directed teams to suspend all radar and high-resolution imaging of both SWAN and 3i Atlas during the blackout. Some proposals for alternative coverage were denied without explanation. The dust stream threat simulations show that after perihelion, the dust trail from 3i Atlas may cross Earth's orbit in mid-2026. If successful, these efforts could deliver the first direct sample of material forged around another star. But what if the intersection poses risks nobody wants to discuss publicly? Meteor scientists are already mapping the possible intersection, drafting plans for radar and airborne campaigns. But if there's a genuine hazard, panic management protocols might demand silence until mitigation plans exist. The conspiracy itself becomes evidence, but irony thrives. Suppression spawns conspiracy. In trying to bury awe, they sow mistrust. Bill Gray's network exploded in popularity, precisely because suppression painted him as authentic. Thus, the conspiracy layer doesn't rest solely on fringe thinkers. It grows directly from institutional silence. By controlling less, they control nothing. Internal memos describe explicit orders to avoid public statements about either object until after perihelion. A handful of telescope allocation reviewers speaking off the record describe being told to reroute or delay raw data requests. The result is a forced silence, at the very moment when the two most unusual visitors in decades cross the sun's glare, leaving only a narrow band of independent astronomers and amateur networks to fill the gap. When Atlas and SWAN re-emerge, the first signals might come from someone's backyard, not a government lab. What this means for us, the facts are clear. Two anomalous objects entered the inner solar system together, defying statistical odds and raising questions no agency has answered. From October through early November 2025, the sky opened a rare window for comet watchers. No advanced equipment required, just a clear view and a bit of timing. On October 21st, SWAN came closest to Earth, sweeping by at about 0.25 astronomical units. Even through a modest pair of binoculars, SWAN's tail stretched out to an astonishing 2.5 degrees, 5 times the apparent width of the full moon. Its head glowed at magnitude 6 to 7, faint, but within reach for anyone willing to rise early and scan the southeast sky. Meanwhile, 3i Atlas slipped behind the Sun at superior conjunction. While ground-based telescopes lost sight, the action shifted online. Solar observatories like Soho's LASCO C3 coronagraph kept watch, capturing both 3i Atlas and SWAN as faint moving points against the Sun's outer atmosphere. These real-time feeds were open to the public. Anyone could join the hunt for sudden changes, outbursts, or even a tail disconnection event triggered by a solar storm. By early November, other comets in the group began stealing the spotlight in evening skies. Forecasts placed their brightness high enough to spot with the naked eye from dark sites, especially for viewers in the Northern Hemisphere. The 7 visitors timeline, July 31. 2025, C2022 N2 Pan-STARRS reaches perihelion at 3.82 ESA aus September 12, 2025. C2025 R2 SWAN discovered and reaches perihelion at 0.50 AU September 27, 2025. 414p stereo perihelion at 0.52 AU October 8, 2025. C2025 K1 Atlas perihelion at 0.33 AU closer than Mercury October 24, 2025. 3E Atlas superior conjunction SWAN's closest approach to Earth October 29, 2025. 3I Atlas perihelion at 1:36 AO November 8, 2025. C 2025 A6 Lemon perihelion at 0.53 AU naked eye visible December 19, 2025. 240p neat perihelion at 212 AU 7 comets 6 months 1 blackout window and a statistical probability so low it challenges belief. Conclusion: look up 7 comets. The odds defy calculation. 1 alien visitor, Atlas, pulsing with foreign CO2. 1 elder traveler, SWAN, back after 22,354 years, echoing ancient human eyes. Institutions keep still. Amateur circles persist. History whispers clues. So, what should we do? The answer isn't panic, violence, or conspiracy mania. The answer is look up. Look up with telescopes. Look up with curiosity. Look up with respect for those who carved stones long before us. And look up with questions for those who mute telescopes now. This isn't about proving NASA wrong or celebrating amateur triumph. It's about something deeper, reclaiming our relationship with the cosmos. For millennia, humans navigated by stars. We marked seasons by celestial movements. We built monuments aligned to heavenly cycles. The sky was our first book, our first teacher, our first mystery. Then we delegated that relationship to institutions. We trusted agencies to interpret the cosmos for us. And mostly they've done well. But when they go silent at the very moment the sky screams loudest, we're reminded of a simple truth. The stars belong to everyone. Bill Gray's network proved this. Amateurs with modest equipment, scattered across the globe, collaborating through encrypted channels, validated observations NASA wouldn't confirm. They didn't do it for fame or funding. They did it because curiosity doesn't require permission. The 7 comets of 2025-2026 represent more than orbital mechanics. They represent a test. Will we accept filtered narratives, or will we look for ourselves? Cosmic Atlas exists for this reason, not to flatter authority, but to chase mysteries. To honor the past and confront the silence of the present. To remind you that curiosity belongs to everyone, not only institutions. This age might mark the first time humanity witnesses both the memory and the alien together. SWAN and Atlas, past and future. Stone Age and Space Age. Myth and measurement. Whether this convergence is random chance, cosmic resonance, or something we haven't yet imagined, one thing is certain, we're living through it right now. So grab your binoculars. Find a dark field. Aim at the pre-dawn sky or the post-sunset horizon. Watch for movement. Record what you see. Share it. Question it. Celebrate it. Because while official channels may close, the sky never does.